I don't know how much more of this I can take. Carlotta has been making good on her threats. The managers have been asking me to sing at private shows, and I can't right now. I can't. I know. So I've been avoiding them. And it's a good thing that they're not too keen on coming all the way down to the basement to ask me, so I'm good for right now. But then there's Raoul. Raoul is so sweet, and he's been texting me a lot lately. And I don't always respond, but sometimes I do. Even though we're just friends. But, and I don't want to lead him on. Even though I find so much about him to like. He's so sweet and kind, and he remembers so much about our summers together, and when I'm with him, I forget how bad things are. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about my father lately, and I realized that I haven't ever really talked about him in these letters, because talking about him makes it seem like he's gone, but I think I need to do this. So, my father loved music, and all through my childhood, his violin was the soundtrack of our lives. The way he played, sometimes it was so lively and joyful, and then he could turn around and play you the saddest song you've ever heard. When I was 6, my mom died. And my father loved her so much that he couldn't live in our house anymore. So we sold our home in Port Jarvis, this little town about 50 miles outside New York City, where my father had been born and had been raised, and where I was born. And we moved to San Francisco, where my father was about as far away as we could get from Port Jarvis, and my father decided that he was going to try and make his big break, so he tried out for every orchestra, every playhouse, every symphony, and sometimes he would get roles, but others he wouldn't. Eventually our money ran out, and we got evicted from the rundown little apartment where we lived, and we were homeless for a while. But I didn't think it was that bad, because it was just me and my father against the world, sleeping outside, and he would play his violin and I would sing, and eventually we made it to a little retirement community where I met the Valerians for the first time. Mr. Valerian had been my father's professor in college, and he'd been like an advisor to him and really liked my father. They'd gotten pretty close, and when he saw the state that my father was in and the state that I was in, and he heard my father play, him and his wife took us into their home, and we ended up moving to New York City then, and Mr. Valerian paid for me to go to a music conservatory, and then I got some scholarships, and Mr. Valerian helped me go to Juilliard. My father never really went outside after we moved to New York City. It reminded him too much of San Francisco and my mother. But I would come home from school and I would sing for him, and he would just play his violin all day. My favorite memory is it was summertime. Each summer, after we had spent a month at the ocean with the Valerians, we would go, my father and I, we would take 2 weeks and we would just travel around. We would sleep outside and he would play his violin and I would sing, and it was just like when we were poor. And I never felt more at home. He got sick. My senior year of high school. And he died. Shortly after I had auditioned for the Metropolitan Opera, and I knew how excited he was about that. When he was gone, I lost it for a little bit. I don't think I went outside for a month, but after I heard that the Met wanted me, I was able to pull myself together a little bit because I knew I needed to do it for him.